Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sunday. Yesterday, I was on conversation with some politicians about the state of our nation, and they were asking me so many questions, about the things I say, about Nigeria, why I so much, develop this kind of opposition against the government, especially the APC government of the day. Anyway, the main point that I discuss with them is all about sincerity. Most Nigerian politicians are not sincere. Most of them knows the truth, but they find it difficult to say the truth. Now tell me, any politician at all, for example, who said, I want to become Nigerian president, and he is unable to answer the question of so many military intelligence, former DSS director, former head of Nigeria intelligence like Onowumi, D.Y. Danjuma, these allegations they raise, which have translated to the reality of the insecurity situation in Nigeria. If anybody who is a politician don't have answers to insecurity situation in Nigeria, meaning the person is among the people. Because the problem with Nigeria is no longer about leadership problem alone. Because if you have a good leader who becomes a president or a good leader who becomes this or that, tell me, how are you going to deal with the issue of those people who have agenda to make sure they push every other person to their own religion? What are you going to say about this video you're about to watch?
It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens. And they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia and there is whatever thing they have in their head they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012. Yeah. And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. They mention names. I can't come on air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know, presently in government, that the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Asu Rock. The intention is to Islamize Nigeria and practice Sharia. And it doesn't matter if some people die. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed. It doesn't matter if our economy has degenerated. Look at the interest rate. Look at the inflation rate. Look at the debt profile of Nigeria. They don't care. As long as at the end, Quran is at the sea. So some people in this country have this mindset. And we must tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you die. If you don't tell it, you die. Some people have this mindset to Islamize the nation. And they are in the government. And people know them. The DSS know them. The NIA know them. The DIA knows them. You can't succeed without an inside person. And this attack you saw has insiders collaboration.
Yeah. That is just one of the many revelation, should I call it revelation? This is just about facts. So, what are you going to do about these things? Why is it that almost all the whole politicians in Nigeria, they are quiet about this? They are keeping quiet. What is the problem? Why are they keeping quiet? This is just my own question. I need answers. I need answer to these things. Why is it that everyone who contested presidential election in this last 2023, are you going to tell me that they don't know about this video you just watched? They know. But what is their plan in tackling it? Because this is not all about hunger. This is not all about bad leadership. That was why Tinubu told Haja Natasha that if I fight insecurity, they will kill me. So you people are coming to reality to understand that, oh, this is not just a matter of leadership. That is why Nigeria is questionable. Nigeria is questionable.
And Aswaju called me. He says, Hajia, I said, sir. He said, I respect your stance on not accepting the appointment. I said, yes, sir. Because I can't be a zombie. I just can't follow you because you said I should follow you. Let me know what you have for us up north. Because if I made a mistake on Buhari, with you, the truth is written on the horizon. So I have to know what you have for us. He said he's in London, that if I can, I should go over. He offered to buy me a ticket. I said, no, sir, I can afford a ticket. And then he said, can I get a hotel for you? I said, yes, that I will appreciate. I took the next Lufthansa to London. I saw him that same night, and we sat. And I said, sir, the reason why I'm not accepting your appointment is because I don't know what you have for us up north. Because in the north, every single person is either waiting to be killed or kidnapped. We can't go on like this. What is your blueprint for us? He told me that he doesn't have anything for us. I said, you mean, sir, you don't have a blueprint? He said, I can't have a blueprint because if I have a blueprint, I'll be stepping on too many toes and they might even kill me. This was what he said.
I need an answer. I need an answer to the reason why a president of a sovereign nation will come out to make such speech, and today both the whole political parties, everybody, they kept quiet as if nothing is happening. What kind of country is this? I need an answer. Time with that number. I have shared these videos. I have said my mind. I'm making this video because of the meetings we had yesterday on phone conversation. Because a lot of people don't still understand what we say. Because they are thinking that, oh, these people, they just want to distract. No, this is not all about distraction. This is all about reality and sincerity. Why can't us just be sincere to ourselves? Okay, all right. All these people who are laying allegations, despite everything they said is happening today, everything they said is just real. They are verifiables. Now, can you just call these people and question them if what they are saying is not true? Remember what Femi Falana said, that look at the people who formed the Boko Haram. The person is still roaming up and down, and someone like Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. And you want people to come out to, stay together in one country. God, now, it's not going to happen. There is no how it is going to happen. And that is why I am just saying this. It's only the truth that can set us free. We must be able to come to the reality and say, no, this is this, this is that. We must be sincere. If you have answers to this question I am asking, let me know. Why would a nation, the government will sponsor insecurity against our people? I will just need an answer. If you have the answer, let me know.
Gowon's own account, 5 million. He said that Gowon said in public space that they had to kill 5 million people to keep Nigeria one. Most accounts point to 3.5 million and all of that, but Gowon himself said that they had to kill 5 million people. And Peter Obi has urinated on the grave of those 5 million Easterners that were killed in that genocide. Peter Obi is insulting the collective intelligence of the Igbo just because of some narrow pursuit, personal pursuit. Peter Obi wants to be president of Nigeria that does not exist. And the matter is made even far worse by the fact that the constitution that has rendered us slaves in our homeland and rendered the rest of indigenous Nigerians slaves in the hands of the caliphate that imposed it by brigandage. Peter Obi started his campaign, his presidential campaign in 2000 and, just ahead of this 2023 presidential election. He started his campaign by saying that the constitution of Nigeria is not the problem. That constitution was imposed as a victory charter from that war of genocide by the very Murtala Muhammad who initiated the genocide 29th July 1966. I want us to connect it to see the gravity of what has been done, because a demand will be made on Peter Obi to apologize to the Igbo worldwide. And the person speaking is a survivor from that genocide. At the time the war ended, I was 3 years old. If one person is known to the world as having presided over that genocide, it is Yakubu Gowon. If Peter Obi was some kind of youth, you could ignore him, but he's not. I'm sure and I'm certain that he's a bit older than myself. And he's not a stranger to the things that had happened, particularly the question of the constitutional arrangements. If these things were things of the past, things that have gone away, of course, we will say, let's forgive and forget and move on. But it hasn't gone nowhere. It's in fact worse. That war that many thought ended in 1970 did not end in 1970. It was continued unabated. It only moved to the economic front.
But let me specifically ask you, do you think that General Gowon needs to apologize for the war that happened between
every day from 1970, every day from January of 1970, Yakubu Gowon was in depth of that apology. He was, even this day, he's still alive now, thank goodness. God kept, on the day I had to challenge him on this matter. I had to stop him in the middle of his speech. He was on his speech, he was speaking. And then, because he lied again, I disrupted his speech and told him to his face that I'm happy that God has kept him alive to witness the collapse of that Nigeria that he and his co-murderers built on the foundation of Igbo blood, and that he will be alive to witness the burial ceremony of that. The event collapsed. Let anybody who can investigate it. Of course, he had his all those permanent secretaries, those super permanent secretaries of the time. Ishekiri was amongst them, who were present at that. Let everybody find out whether the day Ishekiri launched their heritage book at the Institute of International Affairs in Victoria Land, Lagos, whether Tony Nnamdi did not disrupt Yakubu Gowon in the midst of his false presentation, in the midst of his lies. So that's how it has come to where he remains unapologetic. The constitution they imposed as victory charter from that war is now tormenting everybody to death. Ijo is dying. Yoruba is dying. Middle belt, his own middle belt is being decapitated. Everything is upside down. The development that was happening, and happening very well, in the eastern region of Ekpa, in the western region of Awolowo, in the northern region of Ahmadu Bello. How did we lose that federation? Oh yes, it's a Ironsi that changed everything. No, Ironsi was decree number 34 of 1966, did not touch the structure of the Federation of Nigeria. Everything you are told in Nigeria is a lie. When you look around, you will see the evidence of what happened. You will then begin to imagine the intention for building everything on falsehood. Look at how that Nigeria has become. 230 million people with no direction, selling 3 million barrels of crude oil, and a bunch of I don't even have the kind of word that could describe them, sitting in Abuja, pretending they have a country. The Nigeria we are complaining about is the unitary Nigeria defined by this unitary constitution of 1999. Nigeria, the federation, died in 1966 and was buried in 1967. On the 27th of May, 1967, the day Yakubu Gowon, by decree number 14, fractured the 4 regions that were federating into 12 states. That was the day they buried that Federation of Nigeria as agreed in Lancaster House. Everything they had done since that time, all the federal governments of that time have been illicit to this date. And when people like us who commit this number of years, 25 from 1999, 25 years, with all of what went on, the very people were so incensed with what Peter Obi has done. Does Peter Obi know about this matter more than Ojukwu? Yes, Ojukwu will receive Gowon in his residence. You know, they were 2 old men at the time. But I had the privilege of dealing with the principal actors on the 2 sides of that war. Remember, Enohoro, who was the chief convener of the Pronaco, was the spokesman of the federal government throughout that war. Many do not know that Enohoro was a schoolmate to the then British Prime Minister, so they relied on him. Enohoro spent the last 7 years of his life trying to work out with us how to resolve the issues that arose from that time. That is what has become NINAS, from when it was Pronaco to when it became MNN, that went to court in 2007. It fell on me to file that suit. Does Peter Obi know more about this matter than Ojukwu that became one of my plaintiffs in that suit, challenging the legitimacy of the 1999 Constitution? Does Peter Obi know more about this matter than Sisi Ono, the father of Bianca Ono, that was one of my plaintiffs? These are men, these are patriots that gave everything to salvage the people, their own people. But why would somebody from that territory be so insensitive for whatever pursuit to now, whether he's trying to present himself as acceptable, as approved by the enforcers of unitary Nigeria?
Is it possible to have some closure to the issues around the Nigeria-Biafra war? Will the wounds ever heal? Will the wounds ever heal? What should be done to assuage Ndi Igbo for what has happened between 1967 to 1970 and the things that happened afterwards, with the abandoned property and every other thing that happened, and confiscation of their monies?
The thing that needs to happen is that the truth has to be told, and then the remediation which NINAS has placed on the table. NINAS being Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, which encapsulates, involve all the indigenous nationalities across Nigeria. The only ones who are not indigenous, we all know. They are the ones killing in Abeokuta, killing in Boko, killing in Panching and elsewhere, in Boni and Port Harcourt, in Warri and Ugeli. The ones who do not own, in terms of ancestral land, any square inch of the territory the world knows as Nigeria, the Fulani. The problem is that it began with the British that brought them in to hold their empire for permanent control. Let us accept what happened and stop lying and stop falsehood